most quiet, Kayla Day.
I don't talk a lot at school, but if people talk to me and stuff, they'd find out that I'm like really funny and cool and talkative. By the way, I like your shirt a lot. It's like so cool. What?
Bo, I was really pleased to see you had pre-net, pre-crazy music like Enya. And I thought that might have been a tribute to past days.
I don't know. For me, Enya sounded like the future. I don't know. Like I feel like Enya knew what 2018 was going to sound like in the 80s. Like for me, it's like she just had something going on that was like. I also wanted to incorporate, even in the score, just like our composer Anna Meredith does a lot of this, like acoustic music that sounds electronic, and that's what Enya does really well. It's like it's all like harps and staccato strings, but it sounds like a computer.
I'm telling you, it was such a break from a lot of films. The score, it was moving and different, and as you say, sort of analog-y.
Yeah.
And moving.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
warm.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah,
right.
Warm, yeah.
So how did you write something for which you had to get inside a 13-year-old girl's mind?
You know, just subjugated myself to it and knew that, 13-year-olds are posting about themselves online, so just learn about it and trust the thing you feel within you that is drawing you to this, that feels like you have in common with her, and then be humble about everything you don't know and defer to the research, and actually on the day defer to the kids around you, because you're going to be making this with a 13-year-old girl. So that's all it was. I didn't set out to make a story about a 13-year-old girl. I set out to just talk about what I was feeling at the time, about myself and about the world and about living, and then,
How did the way you feel about yourself relate to this?
I felt anxious. I feel like, and she feels anxious, and I felt like I was in my own head, and she felt like she was in her own head. And I had tried to explored these feelings through myself for so long. I wanted to do it through someone else, and
that is so interesting.
It being someone young was helpful, and it being a girl forced me to not project my past experience onto her, which is I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be nostalgic. I didn't want it to be, because I can feel movies when they're about young people where it's like, oh, this is just the memory of the director or the writer, which can be cool. I mean, actually is can be great, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be visceral and now.
Oh, it was so visceral. And, her mind is in tumult so much of the time. I mean, she's submissive to and wants the approval of these women who don't like her. She's so dismissive and mean to her father who stands behind her and loves her. I mean, that's adolescence.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's part of the job of a parent, just to be a punching bag, like she can't get her frustration out anywhere else. She wants to be able to yell at everyone at school, but she can't because she's too scared. Let her yell at you.
This is something I don't get. I mean, do you remember the series Kate and Allie, the sitcom in the 80s? This is when the whole tide turned in terms of parental sort of guidance and strictness. And the children took over, and the children looked after the parents, and the children set the emotional tone of the home and gave permission to do things. Everything seemed to turn upside down.
Yeah, parents want to be friends, yeah.
Parents want to be friends, and he's not a good friend. I mean, he's kind of a little bit weak.
Yeah. I wonder. I don't know. I mean.
But I think that's a cultural change.
Yeah. I mean, it's baby boomer Gen X, definitely baby boomer. But are we thrilled with the emotional lives of baby boomers? No. Like the experiment of strict disciplinary parents ran, and then they all broke down, and an entire generation broke down in therapy for $500 an hour. You know what I mean? So it's that didn't work. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know. We just keep trying. It's oh, that didn't work. Well, maybe this. Okay, we overcorrected. All right, maybe a little more of that.
But I think that's what is also very authentic about it. It looks at people's foibles, and they're human.
I think that society used to be so structured that the only place to rebel was against your parents, but now society, and there's so many other places to rebel that I think parents just want to be there with their kids. Because if the parents are strict and then they go to they have their phone and it's just going to be a mess. I just think it's going to be a mess. I think they're going to they know they're already lost in a way they weren't generations ago. They're already so far away from you but they're kind of having like
An artificial generations ago, an
Yeah.
artificial social setup.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Or they're just scared. They're just like they're just everyone's just reacting to their parents, right? And being like, I'm not going to be like my parents. And then I wouldn't be surprised if this generation grows up to be disciplinary, be more disciplined. You know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, my parents were so weak, and I turned out weak. So
Wow. Fascinating. Thank you so much, Bo.
appreciate it.
That's great.
She